Alright guys, so I'm going to be installing the AirDog 165 4G. I had to use my trim panel removal tool to scrape the wax off of here because the paint pen wasn't working on the wax. So now that I got that, I'm going to try this again. There's the pilot hole. Hopefully looks right. I got the thing up in there. I'm going to try and put these mounting bolts on. It's kind of tricky. Man, everything's got to be a pain in the ass. There's just no easy installs on these trucks. Everything's a pain in the ass. I guess that's why people pay mechanics, huh? There we go. Okay, so I lied. I installed the AirDog before I put the fittings in, so now I'm going to do that now. Install the 1/2" male J204 quick connect by 3/8 NPTF fitting into the engine and fuel in ports of the AirDog. So there's 2 of those. Alright, so once you have this in here, go ahead and use the 3/4, tighten it up. Okay, so now I need to disconnect the fuel line from the top of the tank. Okay, so you can see I disconnected the fuel line right here. There's a button on top. You just got to push it down and pull back. Pretty simple. Oh, fuck. There we go. Ah, God. Well, covered in diesel. So after disconnecting the stock fuel line, I installed the fuel line on top of the tank, ran it back over here. Alright, so finally got the fuel tank line on, the fuel in. Alright, so I got the fuel return hooked up. I got the fuel to the engine hooked up, got the fuel from the tank hooked up, and now it's time to cut the filler neck. I routed the hose. Okay, and as you can see, I'm going to run this right up in here. There we go. This is an 8mm hose clamp. You can use a flat blade, or I prefer to use a Alright, so here's the line that goes to the manifold. Push that on. It's as good as I'm going to get it. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to zip tie that. Okay guys, I'm sorry I didn't get more of the install, but it was kind of a pain in the ass, so I pretty much just wanted to finish up and make sure I got it done before the sun went down. But here, I'll show you what I did. Here's the final zip tie and tap into the manifold. is the AirDog. I got that line looped around to the engine in. It's not hanging down below the frame. You can't see it from the outside, and I have several zip ties on it to keep it from moving. I've already started the truck up, checked for leaks, no leaks. It primed itself. It's super quiet. I can't even hear it unless I have my head down here by it. And then I ran the wiring harness down the frame up through there by the shock tower. And then I still have to clean this up, but I ran everything into the engine compartment. Here's the relay. Here's the wire for the hot fuse. And this is my EGT probe, but I ran into the box here and I cut a little hole out so that the wire would come out. Ran the hot to hot, ground to ground, and on the Denali, it's fuse number 34, which is ECM ignition on. That's the fuse that I could find that, you know, turns the thing off when the truck is off or when the door is open. So I had a little bit of a hard time finding a fuse that worked. I tried 45, I tried 47, both of which have been suggested in other videos. So if you are doing this on a 2016 Denali, check fuse 34. That is the ECM ignition fuse. So that one is the only one that I found that worked, and I'm going to get everything else tied up here, get it off the ramps, get the wiring situated, and take it for a test drive. All right, thanks guys.